All right, to continue our Colorado Inside Out Lollapalooza, let's talk to the man who gets all the credit. Dominic, I just want to say it's so great that I could spend a half hour of my show pimping your little program.
We greatly appreciate it. As the night court to our cheers, we're very grateful for your help.
No. You're Laverne and Shirley to my happy days.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think so? If that helps us get through this half hour,
no,
we're
you are.
fine with that.
You're the Love Boat to my fantasy island. And you are too young to understand any of these references.
Going straight over Gabrielle.
A couple of them.
Gabrielle Bryant, who's the executive producer.
I'm the producer.
I'm the producer.
I work on the show.
Why?
Because I love it. I actually, it helped me learn a lot about politics and connect with a lot of folks that I wouldn't have been able to otherwise. So I love what it's done for me.
I'm assuming this is like a work release thing for you, working off a DUI.
I just got a couple more months and then I'm out, you know.
I can understand this. How long have you been hosting?
I've been hosting since 2013. Raj went off to be a prosecutor and wasn't able to do the show anymore, so about April of 2013.
How long did Boyles do the show?
He did the show for 14 years. He took over in 1993, did it all the way through the middle of 2007. So he's
So who's the original?
Ken Hamlin was the original host. He had it for one season, and then they hired Peter.
Wait a second. There's money?
Oh, no. The hire should have been in quotation marks. Yeah. It's always been a volunteer gig. It just explains a lot about the program.
All right, so and how long have you been working on?
Barbara Bailey, who originally created the show and produced the show, she brought me on as an intern in 1996, and they have yet to find a way to get rid of me. So that's basically it.
1996 was a year in a past century. I just want to explain that to you. So you're a relatively newbie in this. Give me your impression. So this is a funky little show. As a newbie, what did it look like? What did you think it was?
Just a boring show that had nothing to do with anything that I was interested in whatsoever.
Boy, nothing's changed, has it? Nothing's changed.
But at this point, because I'm working on writing the content and I also am very
How's the money?
It's great. I love it.
Really?
Yeah, it brings me back every single. It brings me back every single week.
Really?
It does.
Wow, that and food stamps to get your family by?
You know, whatever it takes to get me by, you know?
All right. I know you're a little uncomfortable talking about this, but I'll do this. What's cool about this, I'll mention it before, is it's like everything else at Colorado Public Television. It takes what you do seriously, but we never take ourselves seriously. And I think that comes across in the Independence Institute. We say that all the time. It's kind of a mantra. Our mission is wildly important. We don't take ourselves seriously. But the show does the same thing. I mean, these are not self-important people ever on the show. Except when I'm on.
Except when you're on. That's when it really gets much more serious. I totally agree with you because I think for 25 years, we've had support from the community because they know the show has personality. And they may love what someone's going to say, may hate what someone's going to say, but they love that there's going to be a little spice there. There's going to be a little bit of opinion. And frankly, with that, a little bit of humor. For every time that someone may have rolled their eyes at something David Kopel said, he's going to tell some sort of joke that's going to make him giggle, or one way or the other. And Patty Calhoun, of course, the anchor of the show, is always going to have something interesting and humorous to say. So I think it's that personality that really has separated it for 25 years.
So if Kopel and Calhoun are, the Cliff Clavin and Norm from Cheers, which one's which?
Well, I tell you what, I don't think Cliff Clavin or Norm have the gravity that Patty brings to the show.
Let me make it clear. Kopel is Cliff Clavin.
Because
he just spouts off crap all the time that nobody cares about.
Yeah,
that's good.
Every bar needs a wise guy. Right. He's definitely our bar's wise guy.
Do you write the questions?
I don't write the questions. Dominic writes the questions.
Do you actually do anything on the show?
I write the script for the show, which contains what Dominic reads. Yes, and so the stories.
So Dominic needs to read a teleprompter.
Anytime.
I'm not talking to you.
If I sound intelligent on the program, Gabrielle's
so in other words, as a pretty boy, all Dominic does is read what you write.
Well, we also write topics together. So we go back and forth decide on what topics we're going to discuss. During the week, we also go over the show in the morning, talk about, what changes need to be made. So we play a, pretty close role.
I like it because it sounds like you're doing the PBS NewsHour, going back to deadlines and this. No, he's kind of drunk most of the time, and you just
Not at
get
all.
up.
Not at all. I doubt it.
I don't.
The show has been, helped with Westward for a long time. So
Yeah,
of course,
exactly,
Channel 12 is known for a lot of things. We're going to embrace that.
From all this, what sticks out? What has gone wrong? Because the other cool thing about this, and it's live to tape, so when it messes up, it messes up.
It's live without a net. We run a roll tape, and like I tell folks on the table, unless there's a technical malfunction, the camera stops working or a light does something, we're going to keep going. So if there's an argument, there's a whole part of a documentary that's running right after this show that shows really an era where we had a lot of arguments, that whether it was Peter and Danny, or Danny and David, or Danny and Craig Silverman, and they went off kilter for a while, that's where it's going to go. We can't stop or edit or anything else. So I wouldn't say it ever went wrong, but when the topics and the debates get emotional, it can get a little off course in the script. But again, that's part of the personality of the show.
Any fisticuffs?
No, and I think people are actually surprised by that. But the cameras turn off right before. People are very friendly. I think people would be astonished how friendly Danny and David are off camera, seeing what they've been on camera sometimes. They are very, very friendly and have a lot of respect for each other. They just don't agree that often.
That is so diplomatic. Because I know Copel slashed her tires once, so leave it for that.
But it was only after what she did to his.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So what have you learned about Colorado and politics? So you've got fresh eyes. You come here, you do this. We're old codgers. We're full of opinions. We live and die this kind of politics stuff. So you're there and you get a sample. It's like a stupid local politics buffet. So after the several years you've been doing it, what have you picked up from Colorado politics?
That it's all a game and you just have to know how to play it.
Really? Say a little more about that.
Well, I think, when strategy is involved and just kind of watching how the election has played out, especially the presidential election, and talking about that, it's all about a game and you have to be prepared to play that. There's several players that are involved and you have to make friends and frenemies, if you will. And I think it's very interesting and it's a super engaging process and something that we should all, especially my peers and the folks who look like me and who are around the same age, we should definitely be paying attention to what's happening.
Look like you.
Well, a little bit.
Wear lipstick? There's a lot of people wear lipstick.
That too. But really, honestly, I think a lot of the topics that we talk about affect the local community, which I'm a part of. And I feel like a lot of folks don't really pay attention to politics only when the presidential election is happening. So I feel like this show gives us an opportunity to touch on all those different areas all the time.
The show would be better if there was more singing.
We've had episodes with singing, and it's actually pretty funny. In the documentary, we have when Patty, in one of her many roles in our time machines, plays Ethel Merman, who once lived in Colorado, and she breaks into No Business Like Show Business, and it's by far one of the highlights of the program.
You don't even know who Ethel Merman is.
I don't, but the show's really amazing.
This is the problem we have with young people.
That creates the balance.
She doesn't know what Fantasy Island is.
I'm not really that young.
Fantasy Island?
Nothing.
Not knowing Ethel Merman or Fantasy Island is not necessarily a deficit to bring to a program. I'm just saying.
Name 3 of the 4 Marx Brothers. Fast. And they're going to, and these are the people who are going to take care of us when we're in nursing homes. Just let you know.
Marx Brothers movie and call it good.
I can Google it. I don't have my phone with me.
I can Google it. Why the timepieces? It's fun, but didn't it come out of a necessity that it's Thanksgiving weekend and ain't nobody working on Thanksgiving?
That's exactly where it came from. David Copel came with the idea saying we can do a show as if it was a different year. Larry Patchett is the guy behind all of it. He is the Mr. Peabody to Mike Sherman. He does all the work. And we said, if it is a different year, what are we talking about?
Right, by the way.
Absolutely, yeah. But they have really become one of our favorite things to do with the show because we can get creative, and it's unbelievable to find the real, true acting hams we have on our panel. Kevin Flynn will every year be like, oh, I don't know if I have time for it, I don't know, and then every time he just loves getting into character. It's really a kick, and we can really get creative with the show that usually you can't get creative with because you're talking about just the issues of the day. So those Time Machine specials are our favorite, and it's because we don't want to work a July 4th weekend.
I keep asking the same thing. Do a future one. I want a Star Trek one. We got problems in the Federation that we need to talk about.
Every Time Machine show we've done is based in actual real topics and issues that came up during that time. Whether it was 1858 or 1964, wherever we were at, this is what people were talking about back then. Doing the future is just pure fiction. We tried a future one we did like 2025.
Politics is pure fiction.
You raise a good point.
All right. Half a minute left. Name all 4 Beatles.
Ringo.
You start with Ringo?
See, that's not fair.
John Lennon.
There you go.
Who's Beyonce married to?
All right.
Oh, thank you.
See?
I do know that guy. All right, I got to run. I'm glad you're doing this show. You do a wonderful
I love
job.
it. Thank you.
And your secret about your height during the show has stayed a secret. Let's just let people know you're standing up right now.
Saying the guy who's pretty close to my height.
Listen for me on KL. Read me in the post, and we'll see you next week.